Welcome to another Zimcast, and we have snow to talk about in 2024. Happy New Year, everyone. Remember that video I put out on New Year's Eve? Well, we are getting closer, and I think there is good model agreement that there is some sort of winter storm that is going to be affecting the tri-state area, the metros, up to, I'd say, about Albany. I say anywhere from, southern Jersey to about Albany. There's going to be some sort of storm. Now, the devil's always in the details. And, this storm system is really for January 7th, right? Overnight on January 6th, Saturday night, very late Saturday night, really Sunday morning. And it's fast. It's moving quick. It's going to be in and out. But the thing is, all the models have some sort of a system. Now, depending on track, we're going to say that, right? Depending on track will actually depend on how much snow, who sees snow, and so on. Now, here's the thing. Before we get into the models, and I waited for the 12Z data. These models are going to flip back and forth, because little slight adjustments are going to do a lot. So I think what we want to look at today is the potential. Okay, and what could go wrong, what could go right, depending on if you like snow or not. So let's start with the 12Z Euro that is actually still printing currently. And we're at the 500 millibar here. And the reason why I'm showing you this is because you see this little... Let me see if I remember how to draw on these things. All right, so the reason why I'm showing you this here is that this energy that goes through fourth, right? This ends up swinging out and producing a slight block, okay? Something small. Okay, and we have this cold air finally, okay, that drops out, and you get a high pressure here, and it's the ingredients for an East Coast snowstorm. And what have all the storms been trying to do this year, right? They tend to form and ride up the coast. Now, again, we haven't had any cold air to work with recently. But that is changed. You woke up today, it's cold. This week is going to be cold. So let us go through. Now remember that this is not the storm. The storm is here, okay? And as we go through this week, you can see there's plenty of energy. It's tapped into the Gulf, right? The Gulf of Mexico. So it's got plenty of moisture to work with. And as we work through here to Sunday, you see where that energy is focused along the coast. Okay, you can see this here, and we have high pressure to the north, so we got cold air that's funneling in, and you have the moisture coming in from the south, and that is the recipe that you want for a snowstorm. Now, what happens in this run? Well, it tracks a little bit closer to the coast than last night's run. And we could even actually look at those differences. And then if you're going to look at the crazy snow maps that these models print out, the clown maps as I call them, you're either going to be happy or sad, depending on which side you're on. And by the way, then there's another system a few days later, but that we'll get to another time. So what does this look like? Well, before we go and look at the surface, let's go ahead and take a look at 850 millibars. All right, and let's get back into our time frame. So here it is. Here's the low pressure system. Okay, let's go back one. Okay, you see it's forming down here, and then as it works up. Now this is the key here. See how it's kind of lagged back? See how you kind of have this open over here, and yeah, it's closed down here, but this is it's hugging the coast a little more this run compared to last night, and this is a warmer solution for the immediate coast. Not so much, obviously, it doesn't really affect the interior, but for the immediate coast like New York City, Southern Jersey, so on, This exact track would not be good. Now, I still think the models are having a little bit of a hard time here because they're not going to get the track 100%, and that's what we're going to be watching. Remember, this is still 5 days away, folks. But the confidence is there for a storm because the storm keeps showing up. It's just a matter of where is that track going to be. Now, you see what happens on the next frame. See how it shunts east, okay? So it's going and it's booking. So it kind of goes like that. That's the line. Now, how close to the coast before it starts going like that? How fast does it do that? These are all the things that are going to influence snow totals. And if you see snow. Look, I think personally a lot of folks are going to see snow that have not seen snow for a few winters. So I do think the potential is there. Now, let's go ahead and look at the surface, right? Might as well. Actually, before we go look at the surface, let's go look at the GFS. And I want to look a little zoomed in here. Okay, we're going to look at that same 850 millibar low. And let's get to our time range. And again, you see this is a little bit of a different track here. Okay, this one kind of goes more like that. Okay, and then goes east. So you see the Euro and GFS they have a storm, but they have the storm setting up and working in a different way. So that's important to look at. Now, if we want to look at temperatures, we can see we got plenty of cold air to work with. Here comes the storm. That's obviously the warm air is on the east side of the storm. That's why you see how it tracks is going to be important. And then plenty of cold air behind it as well. So again, interior, I think you're fine. Okay, you are snow no matter what. Coast, that's where we get a little bit iffy. All right, so let's go ahead and let's look at the snow map. Well, no, let's actually look at the surface map first. Oh, we will go with the Euro first, and we'll actually look at last night's and today's, the one that just ran. So we'll go with 12Z first, and you can see, so there's that storm that kind of sets up the block exiting right here, okay? And then here's the storm for the 7th. And again, you kind of see how it jets off, okay? But it's a little further tucked into the coast here. It brings in a little bit more of the warm air. But look at the high to the north. That's really, really going to funnel in. Can't seem to draw. Really going to funnel in some cold air. So that's what's been missing. And unlike last year, look where the storm is. Remember last year? Where did all the storms track? Like that. Well, here we are. We're in a good position. Now let's look at last night. Last night the OZ run, just to show you. See, this stays a little further south and then starts heading east. So you got a lot more cold air here because of the track is a little bit more favorable. But again, this is minute little details which you cannot get into right now. So, I know, let's look at the snow maps, right? It's no fun if we don't. Please, this is not a forecast. Take it with a grain of salt. Let's start with last night's Euro, just so we could see some differences, okay? And here is the snowfall map for last night's Euro, okay? So you can see where the bulk of the frozen precip is, and it gets in pretty south. Again, this is all assuming 10-to-1 ratios. Maps do a horrible job with sleet. All that stuff, all the disclaimers. I should put disclaimers on the bottom of the videos. But that's last night Euro. Now you're going to see a big difference in this afternoon Euro. And notice something there? See that? It shifted the snowfall north. Why did it do that? Because the storm rode in a little bit closer. So all that precip went up and you got more warming towards the coast. And now you could see a huge cutoff here. So I mean, that is that is a big difference. But just one model run, right? And what do we know? Models don't make the weather, folks. The weather makes the weather. So again, these are just tools. So what you have to look at, you have to say, hey, there's the possibility of anywhere from about Albany, like I said in the beginning of this video, to southern New Jersey to see some snow. How much snow? Well, we have to look. We're gonna have to wait. We're gonna have to see. We're gonna have to track. And it's good to track a storm. I'm excited. Let's look at the GFS also. Snowfall map, 12Z GFS, and here it is. And there you go. That was the 12Z. Let's not get too crazy in time here. There you go. That's for the weekend storm. So again, you can see this is also a little bit favoring a little bit northern track, but it does bring heavy snows down. That I-95 corridor, right? If you're on the north side I-95, you're generally gonna be sitting pretty on these type of storms. If you're on the south side, you're gonna have to sweat it out. It's all gonna depend on track, but I would not, telling you, I would not look at these and say yes, this is gonna happen. I think if you're anywhere, like I said, in central Jersey to about Albany, you got to be watching this storm, because it's not out of the question that, hey, it does track a little bit further south. And again, models like to flip-flop just for fun. Let's go to last night's same time frame. There we go. This is last night's GFS. So again, you could see a lot more heavy snow all the way down into southern Jersey, central Jersey, right? And less by Albany. Because again, just the track was just a little bit further south, and it jetted east. It stayed more on the coast, and then it went this way. Whereas now the models are doing something more like that, and maybe even a little closer to the coast. So these things will flip flop, and that's a pretty good range. So again, I think we're good. I think the key thing is a winter storm is within the 5-day range, and I think we could be confident that some folks are going to see snow, and maybe places haven't seen much snow. I mean, listen, where I live in Rockland County, haven't seen much snow the past couple of years. Okay, New York City, I'm sure you've seen flakes, but nothing really accumulates, right? Well, this might change that, so let us track it. I'm excited. I got my coffee, I got my water. I don't know. I'm just excited. I don't know if you guys can tell, right? Someone texted me. They were like, I haven't seen you this excited about a storm in recent years, and finally. All right, guys, listen. Like, subscribe. You got to hit the bell, okay? Because I'm going to be making videos after model runs, and we're going to dive into this again tomorrow, but you're going to want to know when that video comes out. So you hit the bell, and it's going to notify you, okay? Like, subscribe, comment. Are you guys ready? You ready for some snow? What are you thinking? What is your gut telling you? Sometimes you got to go to the snow, right? I say that. Well, I'm hoping that the snow just comes to us this year. All right, listen, have a good one, everyone.